All right, we should get started. So we're going to run out of time otherwise.
Okay.
So, hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for attending. I am Nathan Isaacs. I'm a senior content production manager at User Testing. I produce our podcast, the Insights Unlocked. You can find it on your favorite podcast player. And with us today is Kuldeep Kelkar. Kuldeep, can you tell us about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so name is Kuldeep Kelkar, and as the book says, I recently published a book called Strengthen Your User Research Superpowers. I'm a partner at a company, a boutique design and research agency called UXReactor. Full disclaimer, I used to be part of UserZoom user testing for almost 8 years. I left user testing UserZoom almost a year ago. Took some time off, wrote the book. I'm glad I got to finishing the book. I had thought about this for a long time. I was one of the first researchers at PayPal way back in 2004. Back when there was no UserZoom, there was no user testing. User research essentially meant research in the lab. That's pretty much it. Only a handful of companies had user researchers. Interestingly, I was also told early on in my career that, hey, maybe only a handful of companies might have this user research thing. I'm glad I stuck around because that's clearly not the case. So amazing to see 500 people out here. And I got started, as we were talking about, in the field of user research through my master's program way back in '98 at Clemson University. Still a Clemson Tigers fan, and still follow college football.
Well, we won't hold that against you. Tell me about the book too. So it's strengthening your user research superpowers. What if I'm going to read the book? What am I getting out of the book?
Yeah. So in the last 25 years, I've seen researchers generally not struggle with conducting research, but struggle with influence, struggle with product or technology, or getting a seat at the table, right? Or influencing the outcome of the product, right? And over and over again, I have heard researchers talk about these challenges, right? And so when I was thinking of writing a book, I didn't want to write yet another book on how to conduct research. There's plenty of books that are out there. They talk about conducting research, the how to write tests, all of that is straightforward. So eventually this book ended up being a deck of cards, 52 cards, like a deck of cards, literally. Each chapter is just a couple of pages strong, and these are the superpowers I wish every researcher had, so that they can do what they are wanting to do at their organization, which is influence the stakeholders, become a leader, be able to have those business conversations and make an impact while doing so.
So if you had a superpower, a favorite superpower, what would it be?
Yeah, it's like asking me which one of my two children do I like more. I don't.
I do have a favorite child.
I have I don't. So all 52 superpowers are out there. They are all meant to be used in the right time, in the right place. But since you asked, the favorite superpower is sample size. And why? Because in my first 10 years of my career, it was very interesting. When anyone challenged me on sample size, I think I used to get frustrated, maybe even angry. It's like, why is this question coming up again and again? Now I see that as an opportunity. It's like, hey, let's have a discussion. Let's talk about the benefits of qualitative research with smaller sample size. Let's talk about the benefits of larger sample size. I have my spiel ready these days, and I look forward to somebody asking the sample size question these days.
All right. Well, sample size, 2 words.
Yeah.
We're here to do the fast 5
Yeah.
questions with Kuldeep here. So question number 1, what is your favorite word?
Well, if I say research, would that be cheesy?
No, it's not cheesy.
No, okay. Yeah,
Everyone's
it is
gonna say
research.
research,
After
right?
25 years, 27 years, this is pretty much what I know. So it's research.
What profession other than your own would you like to try?
Ooh. Like to try? Well, if I were not a UXer, and this might shock you, everyone here, I might have been an astrophysicist. Like, gee, where there's no, if you draw concentric circles, there's no overlap that I can think of. between user research and astrophysics. But weirdly, I'm also interested in the physics and the astrophysics and the not at the quantum level, but at the large level. So maybe an astrophysicist.
All right. You know, besides something, so
Yeah.
what would be, if you were going to be working at a restaurant, what would be your job at a restaurant?
Maybe a chef. I
You
might
like
have to take that
kind of
back.
Be the person in charge.
Yeah, probably. Though I
right.
don't cook, so.
We talked a little bit about how your role has changed since you started 20 odd years ago. Now, more specifically, how has your role evolved with the rise of AI?
Oh, AI, which is of course the talk of the town, has been for the last year and a half. How has my role changed? Well, I'm a partner at UXReactor. So, honest answer, it hasn't dramatically changed for me. Having said that, I heavily use AI. I use ChatGPT, the 4.0 model. I heavily used it for the book as well, for editing purposes. I had to stop using it at a while because it's like it just became generic stuff. In our practice, we use ChatGPT for research planning, for analysis if the customer allows us to do so. We use it for aggregation of insights, editing, and a whole bunch of other things. So, all in all, I don't know it has particularly changed my role as such. We do see a lot of anxiety as well as excitement within our customer base, where everyone is trying to figure out what does this mean for their organization. We do get asked questions about, hey, do you use AI in your design? Do you use AI in your research? Answer is of course yes. What they're really wanting to know is, okay, if you're using it, are there efficiencies, and can those efficiencies be translated to us as customers? We're not in a position yet to say yes to that because we're piloting, we're experimenting. We don't have concrete data at this point in time that says that, hey, design is 10x faster or 50% saving in design and research. Hasn't happened yet. So no, not much.
Do you find yourself trying to figure those answers out like you did with sample size, right? You had to do a little deeper research into understanding sample size, so when you were asked that question, you could answer it quickly. Are you trying to figure that out? Because I'm sure clients are saying, do we come to you to help us with our project, or do we just use chatbot to figure it out for
Yeah.
us?
So a little bit yes and no in there as well. Customers come in with all sorts of questions. It's for us to figure out, hey, how best can we use this? How best can we translate this into efficiency for our customers? Customers come in with all sorts of asks. Hey, we are revolutionizing whatever they are revolutionizing. As I said, I mean, it depends on use case by use case. In some use cases, if it is enterprise design, then it hasn't yet translated to the outcomes that they are hoping for. So there's a lot of experimentation, a lot of piloting that is going on, and we as a community still have to find the use cases where it really benefits. I know for sure it helps us on the research front. I know it for sure it helps us on the design front, but does that translate into customer benefit? Don't know yet.
Okay. What's one surprising thing you've learned from your customers this year?
Customer conversation, every conversation starts with, as we heard this morning, hey, we have budget and resource constraints, which I used to think everyone says that, but I almost always thought that that was a negotiation tactic. Right now it seems to be the true thing, and so they ask, hey, what can you do with, we only have this much budget, and so that's fine. I mean, we're an agency, so we'll do so. But over a period of time, right now in Q4, it's starting to appear like customers are trying to spend more money because they understand that they are probably getting behind in this UX game. And so many of the customers that I've worked with in the last year and a half, who had let go of a big chunk of their design team, now don't know how to do this anymore. Right? I worked with a customer, I will not name them, but they let go of their entire user research team. And now they want to be user centric, they want to be customer centric. They had hoped that their designers would run all the research. That's not the reality on the ground right now, regardless of all the democratization effort. And so now they are coming back and saying, hey, we at least have dollars to spend on contractors and consultants until next year when we decide to rehire. Now, knock on wood, if that happens, that's good for all of us.
Sure, sure, sure. What's one way you've seen customer feedback influence innovation within your organization?
Well, I mean, we are a small boutique agency, 20 people, 25 people strong. So it really, I can answer it for our customers. Right? I'll actually narrate a short story. And I have this in the book as well. This was almost 10 years ago when a CIO came to us. So this is hardcore CIO of IT systems, really not that familiar with UX, not that familiar with design, centricity just in general, wants to be employee centric within his organization. We talked him through the user research and design principles, and the person is like, well, do I really need to conduct this usability test before I launch it to users? I'm like, and my answer was, no, you don't. And that was quite surprising. Like, why would, when I'm selling user research, why would I say it's not? But I said, hey, you don't have to. Customers or your employees will give you feedback after it's live. And now you are risking the unknown, and you can do it. It's your risk. Of course, they bought from us, and I'm happy. So that sales pitch works.
All right, everyone, let's give a hand for Kuldeep. Thank you very much.